Hey everyone, Jason Weckerle here. This morning, my wife and I are going to be throwing for some largemouth bass and some northern pike. I'm going to start out with a Weckerle DT6 crankbait in a bluegill color. My wife is going to throw the same thing. It's 62 degrees right now with 100% humidity. It's early summer now. The bass just got done spawning about, I'd say 2 weeks ago. I still see some panfish spawning, which is really weird. We've had a really late spring this year that seemed to last forever. But now the fish are starting to move deeper to the 10 to 20 foot weed edges. And you got to get baits down to them. Right here, we got about 10 to 12 feet of water out in the middle. Out here to my right, or right in front of me where you're looking now, we have about 5 to 6 feet of water. And it's a nice little drop off right there. So we're just throwing crankbaits. I might throw some top water in the shallower parts or right down the shoreline right here. But soft plastics, wacky worms, Ned worms, shaky worms, deep diving crankbaits, and top water. That's summertime fishing. I know we'll probably catch some pike, but I hope we get a couple nice sized bass as well in this video. But let's shut up now and start fishing. So right now I'm just throwing that Weckerle DT6 crankbait out there. I like to reel it down, pause it, reel it, pause it, and those fish hit that bait on that pause a lot, or sometimes right when it starts to get going again. Alright, I'm gonna throw some top water. So I just brought one top water lure with me. One of my all-time favorites, the Weckerle Skitter Walk. It's their version of the head-in Zara spook lure. This thing's caught me a lot of fish. Got a lot of jerk baits and crankbaits along with me. So we'll see what happens. The key to working these baits that zigzag on the surface, walking the dog they call it, is just to keep that reel going and just twitch the rod lightly like you see here, and that gets that bait just darting back and forth. Ooh, that was a big fish. All these fish are... Whoa! I have no idea what that was. Stealing my wife's bait for a second. Hopefully I don't lose it. What the heck? What the heck? I think that's the tiniest one I've ever seen. My wife wanted to make him a pet. Ooh! my God. All right. So just out of nowhere, this little northern pike came and attacked my little Ned worm. They call these hammer handles here in the north because they look like hammer handles. And that one is the definition of a hammer handle or a snake.
Snot rocket.
All right, well, all I caught was one little tiny northern pike and a tiny rock bass at this first spot. We're gonna try a couple more spots. I'm not sure if we're gonna catch anything or not. We're dealing with a cold front today. We had a lot of boat traffic going by, which I should have figured with the holiday weekend. The July 4th is tomorrow on a Tuesday. It's Monday. People probably got off work for the whole holiday weekend. I heard a lot of people letting off fireworks last night, so I know people are probably off work, getting drunk, getting hungover, partying it up. But we're gonna try just bouncing around on some lakes, maybe some ponds today, and try to scratch out some fish for a video here, because it's been kind of rough fishing this past week. We've had everything from 92-degree weather all the way down to 51-degree weather, and it's just going up and down, up and down. So hopefully we can find some fish today. If not, that's fishing. You don't catch them every time, no matter if you're new to fishing or if you're a pro fisherman. Everybody struggles sometimes. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Well, now we're at our next spot here. It looks really fishy. I'm just going on Google satellite maps and just trying familiar spots and trying new spots. This looks really fishy. Put the rods back here out of the way. Hey, free bobber. Score. We're gonna try a different spot.
You just jumped right over it.
Nope, gotta go.
Bye, babies.
Alright, so we're kind of on a wild goose chase here. We just tried like 3 different lakes. Only caught 2 tiny fish, a small pike and a small rock bass. No bass yet, but I found this pond right here on Google satellite maps. It's right off this busy highway right here, so it's kind of loud. We're gonna see if there's some fish in this pond. I don't know if there is or not. I just saw it on the maps. I said, why not give it a shot? So all you can do is try. Well, on my first cast with a wacky worm, I just lost a little largemouth bass. I was just telling my wife, because we smelt the smell of chlorine. I'm like, man, I don't think there's going to be any fish in here. Oh, I just had another one. Right when, maybe that's what I have to say every cast. There's no fish in here. Are there any big fish in here is the question. Oh, I just had a bite. My wife's using a Ned worm jig. I'm using a wacky worm. Oh, you're trying over here in this little opening?
2 seconds later.
Holy crap. My wife just hooked into a huge bass. Whoa, watch out, babe, watch out. I got it. Oh, that's a big one, babe. I guess the pond does have big bass.
Holy crap, are you kidding me?
Oh!
Dude, I don't think I've caught one that big ever.
Wow, babe.
Are you kidding me? What?
Swallowed your Ned worm.
That's one of my biggest bass.
Wow. That's, dude, that's 21 inches.
Oh my god.
Easily. Look at that mouth.
This might be my biggest bass.
All right, let's hurry up and get him back without being seen. All right. That's awesome, babe.
Dude, my heart is pounding right now. When I saw that fish, I was like, babe.
On the Ned worm. I knew when I saw this pond on the map, I was like, that looks fishy. Well, that's an absolutely great sign, babe, that you caught that giant bass. Now we know this pond is a good pond, eh?
Yeah.
It kind of shocked me because I just looked over and saw you like this fish splashing around like crazy, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? Come on, 8-pounder. Can't let my wife beat me. So we're just trying this first spot we fished at where my wife caught her big 5-pounder. She's still super happy. I'm happy for her. We're probably gonna get back out later on today. Maybe tomorrow morning. Depends how we feel later on, but we're for sure gonna keep filming on this video. See if we can get any more bass or pike. Sometimes you gotta film in a few different locations, maybe a couple different days to get a whole video going. The fish don't bite all the time, and they are affected by weather. They're affected by every little thing. Boat traffic, fishing pressure. The weather is the main culprit when the fishing goes sour, and this whole morning was really slow. Even though my wife caught what might be the biggest bass of her life, it was a slow morning. It's been a tough couple weeks, to be honest with you. I know I could go to the rivers and pound smallmouth, but I've been trying to get some pike and largemouth action before they all slip off the deep weed edges. And oh, just had a bite. Ooh, just had one. Yeah. All I've gotten is nibbles like that. All right, well, we're gonna get back out this morning. We woke up a little late, but we're gonna try another spot today, maybe a couple spots. We don't have much time this morning, maybe a couple hours to blow before we got stuff to do later on today, but we're gonna get out, throw some topwater baits, throw some soft plastics around. We were thinking about trying that pond again, but it's a little bit far for how much time we have on our hands this morning. Today, I guess we have some wind that's might be coming in a couple hours. I'm not sure. That's what the weatherman claims. It still looks calm out right now. It's really chilly out, surprisingly, this morning. We've been getting like 62 degrees, 55 degree temps at night. So the mornings are still really, really cool. Sorry if you hear my cat behind my wife filming here. He likes to interrupt videos, just like every person, car, train, plane, automobile. At least the thing we have going for us today is cloud cover. Yesterday it was bluebird skies. So I'm looking forward to getting out. I like fishing cloudy days, cloudy mornings, low light conditions, nighttime, sunrise, sunset, night. I say that a lot in my videos. But I'm gonna shut up now. Let's get back out fishing. See, this is the noises you guys were hearing in the background of the video. The two brothers right here, Orion and Cygnus, fighting each other. The black one's Cygnus. Oh yeah, this is vicious. They just like playing like this. They think they're serious, but they're not. You guys gonna break it up? You guys are probably thinking this is more entertaining than the fishing. Break it up. Break it up. What's wrong with you? Getting all rambunctious, biting your brother. Usually he's biting you. Did you lose that one, sweetie? Mr. Cygnus? He's named after the Rush Sun and the black hole in outer space, Cygnus X1. And this is Orion, named after the Orion's belt, or the Metallica song Orion. So you know all those heavy metal and prog rock bands like to name everything after outer space and mythology and historical crap, science, sci-fi, whatever. Can I go fishing now? I can go fishing. I'm gonna take some off-the-cuff casts over here just because it's nice and calm, and I might be able to get maybe a shallow water bass or pike to hit. Never know. I've caught a couple bass and pike in this spot on top water in the past, but I'm not 100% sure anything's gonna want to hit top water today with this cold front. Got one. Got one. No way. Ooh, that's a big bass. That's a big bass. Wow.
Wow.
What a monster. Gotta be careful with this. She's got those treble hooks in her. It's about a nice 3.5 pound bass. Was not expecting that. That's a nice fish. Let's let that girl go. That was a nice sized bass I just caught. I'm very happy about that. Something just told me when I saw this calm, shallow water, get my butt over there and start casting. Trying a new spot now after catching a big bass. That was a cool catch. I'm probably gonna start out with a suspending jerkbait. I even brought my fly rod. Thought maybe I'd toss it around, but it's a little windy. Water clarity's murky, but oh, saw that white bass.
Oh, nice.
Well, I'm gonna try a streamer fly on an 8-weight fly rod because I see a couple white bass swimming around. There we go, got one. Got one. Nice white bass. On the fly. Oh. That's a big one.
It is.
Boy, do they fight. Oh man, it's my lucky day. Look at that. On that hand-tied streamer fly. Nice white bass. Caught it on a streamer fly on a fly rod. That is awesome. Almost want to take them home and eat them, but I'll let them go. We'll get some river white bass and rock bass and all sorts of fish if we want to eat them. I like to let them go when they're kind of lake-bound fish. There's not as many of them in lakes as there are in river systems, so That was awesome. I saw him hit it and everything. Just caught it on this hand-tied black and silver streamer fly that I made last night. Very cool. Just changing locations a bit and style of fishing. I caught a white bass on a fly rod, a big largemouth on a topwater bait, a Weckerle skitter walk, and a baby largemouth. Not a bad morning. But I'm just fishing a Ned worm right now over, just had one. Over a shallow rock bar. I just had a fish. There he is. Got him. Got one. On the Ned worm. Not bad. Smallmouth on the Ned worm. Not bad. Well, we had a pretty decent morning. I caught a surprise white bass on a fly rod. I'm not sure what made me want to bring the fly rod out this morning, but it was a little calmer when we left the house. By the time I started casting that fly rod around, the wind started to pick up. I'm not an expert fly fisherman by any means. Not very good at casting either, but I do okay for myself from time to time. I was very surprised to see a white bass that shallow in the summertime though. Scratched out a few smallmouth bass. I got a really nice 3.5, 4 pound largemouth this morning. Not as big as my wife's yesterday, but I was happy to finally get a decent sized largemouth around here this year. Caught some really big bass up north this past spring. Largemouth, smallmouths, whatever. But down here in southern Wisconsin, I've been struggling to catch big bass this year. It seems like a lot of lakes I used to do really good in are getting fished out. People have the right to keep them, but they don't grow to be 5-pounders when guys are filling their live wells with them. So there's a lot of fishing pressure around here in southern Wisconsin. I just like to go on Google satellite maps. I see ponds, I see rivers, I see lakes. I look for the parks, the boat launches, the bridges, any access that I can find on these places. You gotta make sure it's not a no trespassing pond, and if it is, you get permission to fish those places. But we found a pond yesterday we never fished. My wife pulls a 5-pounder out of there, and we just like bouncing around lake to lake. If one lake sucks, we go to the next and just put our time in. And sometimes we get lucky, catch a few nice fish, but there's some skill involved. Obviously, you got to know what to use, when to use it. But catching big bass around here in southern Wisconsin, depending what lake you're fishing, there's a few hidden gems around still. But it's getting harder and harder to find those hidden gems. And like I said, you're not going to find them if you tell people everyone where you're fishing. You're leaving fishing reports, even leaving these videos. Sometimes I'm kind of like sketched out about it because I don't want to attract all those idiots that leave their garbage behind, that keep everything, that don't know the rules and fill their coolers up full of undersized fish. I've seen it all as a fisherman over the years. But it's getting harder and harder to find numbers and sizable fish. So make sure you're practicing catch and release as much as possible, throwing back bigger female fish. If you're walleye fishing, keep the legal size, like the 18 to 21 inches, throw back anything over 21. I mean, if you're bass fishing, if you're keeping bass, you must be really desperate to eat fish, because you could catch a mess of bluegills, crappies, perch, a walleye, or a pike and get better tasting fish. I just don't understand keeping bass. That's on you if you want to do that. I don't judge anybody for it, but you're not going to catch big bass if you're eating them. Just like you're not going to catch big walleyes if you're keeping the big ones, not letting them spawn. You're not going to catch big pike if you're keeping them. It's all common sense. If you guys like this video, subscribe to my page, hit the like button. It really helps this page grow. Gives me a reason to keep making these videos for you guys. I love doing it, and I'm very thankful for all the support and kindness I've been given on YouTube so far. At the time of making this video, I got about 675 subscribers about, and I'm really happy to see the page growing. But that takes you guys just hitting that subscribe button. It's free. It gives you guys my latest content, teaching you guys how I catch fish. I fish all over Wisconsin mainly. I'd like to get outside the Midwest more and fish, but that takes money, travel. I'm a Wisconsin boy, a Midwest boy, and this is Midwest fishing. So I know how to catch fish spring, summer, winter, fall. Doesn't matter. I've grown up doing this. I'm 37 years old right now, and I've been doing this for 33, 34 years of my life. But please hit the subscribe button, help the page out. I'm gonna get some sleep now. Take care.